Welcome back, everybody. Well, Canada have just beaten the USA 2-1. The winner scored by Jonathan David. Great job. You've made everybody here at the desk miserable. Congratulations. Good to have you with us, though. How did it feel?
It felt good. I think it was a difficult game throughout the 90 minutes. But I think more in the second half, we started getting more joy, especially myself, finding more spaces and getting on the ball. And after, I had a couple of chances, couple of penalty misses. And ultimately, I get my chance and I score.
Didn't you think about doing a TT celebration? You didn't see him sitting here.
To be fair, I knew you guys were here, but in the game, you don't have that in your mind.
I got you.
No, very impressive. I like the fact that you were playing a little bit higher in the second half as opposed to dropping and getting on the half turn. And with your speed and the timing of your runs to get into those positions caused us a lot of problems. And like you said, maybe a penalty shot on one. Maybe you could have took the ball a little bit earlier on the other.
Also,
slipped a little bit when you try to cut it back. But hey, what a finish on the goal. When you chopped it inside, finished with the left foot, that's world class.
Thank you very much.
I want to talk about your growth as a player because you're banging goals consistently in Ligue 1. I know how difficult it is. Canadian side played in the World Cup. I think you're maybe overmatched, but you learned a lot. How have you seen this side grow up until this point?
I think, everything leading up to the World Cup, in my opinion, was very good for us. Obviously, we finished first in qualifying and had high hopes for the World Cup. We were against very good teams. It didn't end up happening. Then we went through a little dip. But I think just having that experience at the World Cup, having the loss to Jamaica, and not making the last edition of the Nations League, we just keep learning and growing. And obviously, we get more and more players going to Europe, playing at higher levels, so they get that experience also, which helps us.
Can we have you take a look at your goal? Because we'd love to run that through with you. Here we go. We're going to play it in for you. TT, you want to give any thoughts on what we see?
No, but we've been talking about him, and I was asking him off air. He's way more dangerous when he's higher and in the box, and obviously look at the position that you took. Can you talk to us through what you thought when the ball came in the box right away?
Yeah, when it came in the box, I knew I had space behind me, and as I'm taking my touch, I see Tejan making the run beyond me, and I knew from there the defender has to follow him. So then it's me to set myself up for the shot after I have to score.
That's a great goal, and I wanted to ask you something about your positioning at times, especially against Mexico. A bit less to this afternoon. You went a bit higher, I think, in the second half. Why do you play so low? Can you explain? I'm not saying it's wrong or it is good, but why? Because we don't often see you there.
Yeah, so it's a demand from the coach, but obviously after the Mexico game, we spoke about my positioning, and for him also, he felt I was too low, and he asked me this game to be a bit higher. Well, obviously, the Mexico game was very hard. I think it was very intense, a lot of fouls. I was getting man marked, so for me, I'm a player, I love to get touches, I love to be involved in the game. So it's either I stay up and bring a midfielder with me, leave more space for my teammates, then after I try to find the spaces in behind, where I come short to try to get touches and impact the game. So it's for me to be able to find the balance and to be good at that. And after, I think the coach knows I'm an intelligent player, that I can help the team in the build-up. That's why I think he asked me to be a bit lower. Obviously, he also asked me to score, so it's more to me to find the balance and to not be too low, that I can also impact the game in the box.
Jonathan, can I ask you, as you're growing, as you're starting to find your feet as potentially a world-class striker, how important is it to push yourself with the biggest club possible that wants you, also knowing that this next year before a World Cup is so important that you continue the rhythm that you have at Lille?
Yeah, I think obviously with this summer going on, I'm not sure if I'm staying or going. But if I do end up going, I think, I have to push myself at the very highest level. And after that, obviously, when you play for a big club, your position is never guaranteed. You need to fight. And obviously, I'm never guaranteed anywhere I go to start every game, play every game. I have to perform. And I'm willing to fight. Obviously, I know it's an important year. It's a big decision. So or make a wise decision.
Okay.
We have kept talking about the fact here at the desk that, you know, the U.S. is a host nation for the World Cup, and that's been a big part of the narrative of the U.S. building up to a home World Cup. It's the same situation for you guys, right? How much is that part of the narrative with you guys in the locker room, and how exciting is it for you personally?
It's very exciting. Obviously, we had a little taste in Qatar, especially in that Belgium game where we felt like we had more fans in the stadium, which really helped us in the game to feel more confident and to push after the game. So I think, you know, every time we play at home, especially in Toronto, I think, you know, the crowd is always there behind us. And to be able to play on the biggest stage of all with your friends and family in the stadium, I think is going to be special.
I wanted to say something quickly. I was waiting for you to deliver when you went to France after Belgium. I didn't know if you were going to deliver. I had my doubts, and I always say to people they got to show, and then I would say how good they are. You did that, so I can say you're good now. So no, seriously, because people always go and you have to show, and you did show. You won the league in France. You a great run in the Champions League. And I don't know what's going to happen next, but I just wanted to say congratulations, because you know you backed it up, and then I like to see that.
Thank you.
Sac passé. Shout out to 80.
Respect, Jonathan. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming through. Thank you. Good to meet you. Well done today.
Christian, it's been a disappointing week. How's the group?
I mean, obviously disappointed. Yeah. We'll go see. We'll go talk now, and then yeah, we gotta come back from this. Of course, we're not at our best at the moment.
And how do you get back to the best? The attitude within the group, tactically, is there something that you guys wanted to reinforce to get there?
Well, I mean, now all we can do is go be an example at our clubs every day, be the best that we can be. That's how national team is. And then when we come back, of course, some things need to change, and we need to improve. So, you know, we're going to look back and see what that is. I don't have all the answers at the moment.
Talk to me a little bit about the energy within the group right now. Gold Cup in particular, it's going to be a little bit strange because you might not have everybody in camp, and there are fewer and fewer windows before the World Cup comes around.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see when it comes around who can be there. Obviously, yeah, the feeling is it's not good right now. We need to turn it around, and we can hopefully build some momentum this summer, because we really do need it, and with big tournaments ahead.
Pacha's told me that he envisions you as like the perfect 10, his Christian Eriksen of what he had at Spurs. We've seen you play almost everywhere in the front line. How do you feel playing in that role?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like playing in that role a lot. Like the last two games, obviously, I'm just not seeing as much of the ball as I would like, so it can be tough at times. But yeah, I feel comfortable in the role.
Today you captained the team. How did that feel? Talk to me about that responsibility.
I mean, this team is everything to me. You know, I care so much for for this team, for this country. I hope people know that about me, and it's truly an honor. So anytime I get to do it and lead this country, it means a lot to me.
Yeah, I think you described it. I think we're all disappointed. I think it has to be a lot better, and I think we have a lot of things to work on.
If you can find a silver lining, you got the start today. You look good. How are you feeling personally?
I feel good, man. I think I've always been doubted, and I think it's just about getting your opportunity and making a statement when you get out there. And I think I did well today, but I still think there's another level to my game.
You started out on the left. You finished on the right. After that wing swap, the goal came. Talk me through that tactical adjustment.
Yeah, I think we were just checking both sides. I think whatever side I could get on the ball more, I think they want me on, right? So I think that came up, and I think a lot of movement and runs in behind that led to a lot of creativity.
What's been the message from Pochettino for you specifically of how he wants to use you?
Yeah, I think just the type of player I am. You know, I'm creative. I'm a different style of player that we haven't seen in the U.S. for a while. And I think for me, it's just about continuing to develop my game and be free and creative and create chances like I did today.
All right, well, despite the loss, it was your first official cap for the U.S., so congratulations.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Busy week for you. Old Firm, Mexico, USA.
Yeah, look, it's been a busy week. A lot of traveling there as well, but it was important that finish off this week with a win. You know, it hasn't been the easiest week for me personally and as a team collectively, so this was nice in America against the Americans. Although it wasn't a final like we wanted it to be, But to go out there, put in a performance like that, get a result in front of our, our traveling fans there, it was pretty special.
How you feeling? You put in a shift.
Yeah, no, look, we're all happy. I think we're just happy they didn't go to 120 minutes. It's been a long week in terms of that. A lot of guys have traveled a long way to get over here. But, no, look, it was a great performance. We rotated some bodies, and I think that those guys that came in did an unbelievable job. Obviously, our captain and Alphonso Davies and our best player goes down injured very early on in the match, and we have to change some things up. And I thought the guys that came in stepped up and got us over the line there in a really, really special performance.
Talk to me about those changes, because I do see some remnants from the Herdman era in the flexibility that this team has tactically. You started out at right back and finished at left back.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, we are still pretty much the same player pool to a degree. A lot of the guys are still there from John Herdman's team, and we've learned from that. And again, I think that's the great thing about having so many players now playing at a high level over in Europe, is that not only are they competing against some of the best players week in, week out, but also they're playing under the best managers. And you constantly are learning different things from different managers and different systems, and that helps when we come back to this, because, yeah, national team, you can't just pick whoever you want. You have to pick with the players that you have. So at sometimes, look, your best player goes down. You might not have a like-for-like replacement on the bench ready to go, so you have to switch some things up. And again, we've got some really good players that are all tactically and technically sound, that we can change some things up and not look like we lost a beat.
Yeah. Finally, talk to me about how the team responded to Jesse being sent off. It was a fiery moment, contentious in the penalty area, and then you guys ended up grinding out the win with him in the suite.
Yeah, look, he is an emotional leader. He's a very emotional human being. And I think that he said when he came in the door is that he wanted to make us less nice to a degree. He thought that we were a little too nice. So sometimes...
Is that a Canadian thing?
That's a Canadian thing, and that's him going. He thinks of himself as too arrogant and us too nice, and he wants us to meet in the middle somewhere. So I think that that was a great display that he's felt over these past two matches that we probably haven't gotten the calls that we deserve, and that maybe our niceness was getting taken advantage of a little bit on the pitch, because we don't try and con the ref, we don't roll around the ground, we don't beg for things. It's just not really in our DNA. So I think that he wanted to make a stand for us out there, and I think that, look, he got sent off, but it lit a fire under us for the last 30 minutes to say, okay, you know what, let's push through this, let's find a way to get this result. And I'll tell you what, we were unbelievable. I thought we were great the last 30 minutes, defended really well, and we're constantly a threat on the counterattack. So I'm just really happy with this performance.
Yeah, well, congratulations. I wish you all the arrogance going forward.
Thank you, my man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.